Welcome to all the BSc first year students, semester second. So the title of the paper is Bryophyta and Pteridophyta. Yesterday we have seen introduction regarding what are the bryophytes, what are the pteridophytes. Then we have also discussed the syllabus of this paper. So what are the things that have been mentioned in Bryophyta? What are the things that have been mentioned in the Pteridophyta? So first in Bryophyta, which chapters, which examples they have been included. In Pteridophyta also, which is the first chapter, second chapter, third chapter, and what are the examples which have been mentioned for to study their life cycle. So all these things we have discussed yesterday. Today we are now going to be dealing about a first unit, that is Bryophyta. In that, first you have to be understand the introduction regarding the Bryophyta, the definition of Bryophyta, then general characteristics of Bryophyta, and after that there is one more bit, that is classification of Bryophyta. While studying the introduction, while discussing the definition of Bryophyta, the bryophytes are nothing but a primitive, autotrophic, chlorophyllous, primitive cryptogames whose plant body is flat in primitive examples, in primitive members, and in advanced bryophytes whose plant body may be differentiated into root, stem, leaf-like structure, but they are not having true root, stem and leaf-like structures. So they are amphibians in nature. Why they are known as amphibians? Because they requires water for their reproductive phase. So therefore they are known as amphibians. The exact definition of amphibians means the organisms which will live as well as in water on lands. So they may be live in water and also on land also. Such organisms are known as amphibians. For example, frog. So therefore, they are also known as a first terrestrial plants. Means they always prefers to grow on land on moist and shady places. So they are known as, so these are the bryophytes. So while giving the definition of bryophyta are nothing but a group of plants which are commonly known as amphibians, autotrophic, chlorophyllous, whose life cycle shows alternation of generations, that is gametophytic phase and sporophytic phase distinctly. So they are the bryophytes. So this is about definition or introduction regarding the bryophytes. So we're going to be discuss the general characteristics of bryophytes. General characteristics. So you have to see one by one. These are the most primitive land plants, terrestrial plants, whose plant body consists of a multicellular, a single leaf-like structure in a primitive forms, and in advanced forms, that is, the plant body is differentiated into root, stem and leaf-like structure, but they are not having a true root, stem and leaf-like structures. So for example, in case of primitive bryophytes, instead of a flat body, a flat thalloid, which are having on a lower surface, they are rhizoids. Therefore, in primitive bryophytes, the plant body is dorsiventrally differentiated dorsal surface and ventral surface, dichotomously branch, on which there is a presence of rhizoids, single cellular rhizoids on ventral surface for their to anchor the plants on the surface and to absorb the water. So this is one of the most important general characteristics. Second one is so while discussing they are chlorophyllous autotrophics, means they prepare their own food due to the presence of chlorophyll in their bodies. Then third one is here while discussing the general characteristics of bryophyta, internally when you take the transverse section of the thallus, you will find different types of tissues, which is differentiated. For example, in case of Mertensia, when we take the transverse section of thallus, it is differentiated into storage region and photosynthetic region and air chambers, upper epidermis and lower epidermis. So now, fourth important characteristics of bryophyta is they shows a very important alternation of generations, that is gametophytic phase and sporophytic phase. Here the gametophytic phase is longer, haploid one, and the sporophytic phase is very shorter one, and it is dependent on gametophytic phase for both nutrition as well as their developments. So the another important characteristics about bryophyta is in sporophytic phase, whatever the structure of the sporophyte of bryophyte is differentiated into three distinct parts, that is foot, seta and capsule. In that capsule there is a presence of a mass of tissues that is known as sporophytic mass, spore mother cells, and these spore mother cells undergoes reduction cell division, and due to this reduction cell division there is a formation of haploid spores. So the main important characteristics of sporophytic phase of Mertensia is the production of haploid spores. When these haploid spores release by bursting or by opening of the sporophyte of bryophyta, so they release, and again when they fall on a suitable substratum, they germinate and gives rise to again a new bryophytic plants, which is haploid one, where there is a beginning of gametophytic phase. So whatever the plant body is there, in case of bryophyta, which will be distinct one, that is gametophytic phase. That is for example, in case of liver rods, the first class of bryophyta, that is Hepaticopsida, they are commonly known as liver rods, in which the gametophytic phase is flat, leaf-like structures, which will be dorsiventrally differentiated, dichotomously branched structure. So in that primitive bryophytes, on that there is a formation of reproductive bodies. Another important characteristics of bryophyta is the reproductive bodies which are formed on gametophytic plants or gametophytic phase. They are known as Anthidium and Archegonium. The Anthidium produces anthrozoids, which is act as a male gametes, and Archegonium, which is a flask shaped, funnel shaped in nature, produces an egg in which there is a formation of egg. Both anthrozoids and eggs are haploid in nature, so the anthrozoids are motile and they requires water. They requires water for their germination. As soon as when these two male and female gametes fuse to each other, then there is a formation of zygote, which is developed in gametophytic plants. So that zygote turns into formation of sporophyte, which is dependent on gametophytic phase. So while discussing the reproduction in case of Bryophyta, it is reproduced by vegetative, asexual and sexual method. Sexual method of reproduction is well developed, advanced oogamous in nature, and so they are, so the male and female reproductive bodies are having outermost coating, that is known as jacket cell. So that is another important characteristics of Bryophyta. So overall, we are going to be discuss the plant body, their nature, whether they are autotropics or heterotropics, alternation of generation, what type of reproduction take place, what is the external characteristics, what is the internal characteristics, internally how these bryophytic plant shows different types of tissues, whether they are autotropics or heterotropics, whether they are autotropics or heterotropic in nature. So I think you will be understand what is meant by autotrophs and heterotrophs. Autotrophs means those organisms which prepare their own food, they are known as autotrophs, and heterotrophs means those organisms which are dependent on other, they are known as heterotrophs. So autotrophs, heterotrophs, whether the plant body is flat or erect, whether they are having a true root, stem and leaf, whether they are having or not, so we have to be discussed here. Then what type of multiplication take place, then where they are growing, generally already we have discussed they are amphibians in nature. Amphibians in nature means they prefers to grow in water as well as on lands. Generally most of the bryophytic plants prefers to grow on a rocky surface where there is a moist and shady places are there. In general, we are going to be discuss primitive forms of bryophytes are included in a class Hepaticopsida. Then again, another most advanced group of plants of bryophytes are included into second class, that is Anthoceropsida. Then third class, that is Bryopsida. They are commonly known as mosses. They are advanced one. So these are the Hepaticopsida, Anthoceropsida and Bryopsida. These are the three classes of Bryophyta. Their inclusion depends upon the primitive and advanced nature. Likewise, so all these bryophytes have these important general characteristics. While understanding the general characteristics of Bryophyta, you can be easily understand whatever the life cycles you have been mentioned, whatever the examples you have mentioned for your syllabus, that is Mertensia and in Hepaticopsida, only one examples they have mentioned for your syllabus, that is Mertensia, and Anthoceropsida. In that, only one examples they have mentioned for your syllabus to study the life cycle, that is Funaria. These two examples they have mentioned for your syllabus. So after knowing all these things, while discussing the general characteristics of Bryophyta, now we are going to discuss about classification of Bryophyta. Classification of Bryophyta. According to G.M. Smith, the scientist G.M. Smith, in the year 1955, the scientist G.M. Smith, he has included all the bryophytes in a division Bryophyta. Division Bryophyta. Division Bryophyta. All the bryophytes have been included in a division Bryophyta. Now this Bryophyta again divided into three classes. Again divided into three classes. The number one is Hepaticopsida. Hepaticopsida. They are commonly known as liver rods. They are also known as liver rods. Third one is Anthoceropsida. Anthoceropsida. And third one is Bryopsida. Hepaticopsida, Anthoceropsida and Bryopsida. These are the three classes. So now these three classes are again having their own different orders, families and examples and species. Similarly, Anthoceropsida is again having only one class, only one order. This is having only one order, three families, and all these three families are having their own different genera and species. So Bryopsida is a bigger class. It is again divided into 18 orders. There are number of families, and again each family is having number of genera and species. So here you should not go details regarding the orders and the general characteristics and families and the genera. So you should not go all details regarding all these things. Just you have to be, what are the general characteristics of Hepaticopsida? What are the general characteristics of Hepaticopsida? Just you have to write down 10 to 15 general characteristics of Hepaticopsida and their orders and number of orders, families and species. Similarly, in Anthoceropsida also you have to write down about 10 to 15 general characteristics. Then Bryopsida, in case of Bryopsida also you have to write down about 10 to 15 general characteristics of that particular class. So with this, there is a completion of general characteristics and classification of Bryopsida. In examination, they will not be asked the question on general characteristics and classification of Bryophyta. The question will be always on whatever the examples they have mentioned in your syllabus, that is Markensia and Funaria. Tomorrow, we are going to be dealing about a detail regarding the life cycle of Markensia. The first examples which have been mentioned for your syllabus in Bryophyta, that is Markensia. Here you have to be discuss details regarding their life cycle. While discussing the life cycle of a particular example, you have to be study their first, there is their classification, their occurrence, thallus structure, that is morphological characteristics, then internal structures, then reproductive bodies, then fertilization, then the germination, and then sporophyte. The sporophyte of the particular example, the structure of sporophyte, then structure of spores, the release and germinations. So while studying all these things, while completing all these things, then there will be completion of life cycle of that particular example. So this is the life cycle of that particular example. Only two examples have been mentioned for your syllabus, that is Markensia and Funaria. So tomorrow we are going to be dealing about Markensia. With this, today I am going to conclude this two things, that is general characteristics of Bryophyta and classification of Bryophyta. Thank you.